Last time, on the Adventures of Gaia, the party made their way to see Otakar, who they believed would help them source the items they need to restore Aristodemos. With a short detour, which wasn't 100% my fault, they get to Otakar's shop. After Cronin promises a favor as payment, Otakar grants the party access to Agrippa. While they wait, breaking news reveals that Polycorpus and Iana were attacked by the Coven at their big show.
If anyone has any news of their whereabouts, we encourage you to go to your local Guardian station. Now, in weather. What was that? There's not much time to think about this, however, as the door opens. It's a female. She's really hunched quite a bit over. She has slit eyes, like slit pupils, and kind of a pebbly texture to her skin. She wears a big, heavy cloak. She's got crazy red, sort of tattered up hair with things braided in it, and a sort of beanie sort of cap. She comes out. Well, I hear someone needs some magic. Who is it? What do you need?
Did
she leans in really close to you. Probably.
Did Otakar give me the pad back?
Yes, he did.
Okay. Oh, hello, my good lady.
Oh, she puts her hand right on your face.
I accept that.
Oh, I see. A killer of sorts, maybe, but something else recently. She stops, puts her hand on your chest. No, that's what'll get you into trouble. Your heart, my dear, your heart.
Oh, but of course, we all know the old saying.
She turns over to look at Aurora and Riva. Riva, you're in the chair closest. She looks. You! She puts her hand on just kind of hovers over your hand and slowly puts it on. You have some magic about you. Were you?
You're right, I do. You're so good at this. What else?
Something of the... You were in the Palisades. Oh, you must be from the tower. And she seems to look off for a minute. Her pupils dilate really big and then go small. But you don't remember. It'll be fun when you figure it out. She turns. She looks at Magnus and Aurora. Anyways, what do we need? What do we need? I haven't been able to play with magic since I can't remember what.
Well, we were hoping to acquire the items on this list, as well as, and I take out my little coin pouch of the shells. Is there anything you can tell us about these? And be very careful, though. And I delicately hand her the
little bag with the bullets?
The little bag, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, you hand it to her. It actually hovers above her hand when you put it out. She goes, oh, and she's puts it, it floats in between her hands. You see the 3 shell casings come out.
I should note the bag also matches my suit.
+1 for ensemble details. Okay, she moves it around. I see, yes. Oh, we have some sick people back at home then, don't we?
Unfortunately, yes. And my employer is wanting them better.
I see. Some nanotechnology with magic. Okay, she pulls their hand. They all start spinning in a row out in front. The Coven, isn't it? She puts her hand. They go back into the bag, and she floats the bag back towards you. I wonder what you could have all done to upset the Coven. Her eyes fall on Riva, Magnus, and Aurora.
Well, that's what we're trying to find out as well.
Of course. And some supplies. What you will need a spell to counteract what they've used. Oh, it's like the days when I was after the coins. All right, give me a moment. Okay, she turns. She goes moving out to around the counter back to the door. You see she has a long kind of dinosaur tail sort of out of her back, coming out of her cloak. Aurora looks at the rest of the party. Oh, well, she didn't say she wouldn't help us, so that's good.
As long as you get out of here as quickly as possible.
She closes her eyes. I think there might be some trouble out the front door if we don't hurry up.
Oh,
Okay,
I'm sure that Otakar wouldn't let anything happen to one of his establishments.
You wait for a short while. You hear some magical incantations going on behind the door. It's got one of those little portal kind of windows, and you see flashes of color going off. Otakar opens the door and comes out. There's puffs of magic. Magnus, you can feel both the magic and the herbs and a strange liquidy kind of ink. Otakar comes out. Well, Krellin, I didn't realize how important you were. You've been kind of naughty, haven't you?
Nothing of the sort, my dear friend.
Fall in love, maybe? Is that what you never want to give your heart away? Give your heart away. There's nothing left to power you.
Krellin looks intentionally confused. I have no inkling of what you're referring to.
Of course not. Of course not.
Now,
Anyways.
I would hope that you wouldn't do anything as silly as to cause trouble for me and my new employer.
Trouble. Well, trouble runs the world. It keeps us all interested, doesn't it?
It does indeed, but in my present circumstance, I could very much do without it.
Huh. Interesting. Okay, the door swings open. Agrippa comes out. You see some of her hair is singed now. She's got a little bit of a gash on her face. All right, I've done it. Did you... I don't care about it. Nobody has any coins, though, do they?
What manner of coins are you speaking of, madam?
You see her eyes flash for a little bit as she looks you all over. No, you have no idea. You have no idea at all. Okay, here you go. She hands out. She's got a tube that seems to be containing Magnus. You feel the ink and the magic off there. She has a tube. She hands it out. She gives it to Riva. She says, now, this spell will help. You'll need to cast it along with the ingredients. She pulls out a bag. And, there's no... Yep.
Is it what we need?
Yep. Oh, yeah. The bag. You feel the various... you don't have to. You feel the various... Rolled it enough that you're sensing everything
It's so
in this
noxious I can almost feel nothing else.
Quite strong. You recognize the strength of the yarrow in there. It's slightly different than the white or yellow flowers you typically use, but otherwise it's the same. Got the same kind of power.
Magnus almost gets lost in the thinking, interesting how it's different, blah, 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 blah.
There's also some other minor spell ingredients. Now, the spell, you'll have to use it and cast it as you do the work on that pod. Now, of course, you know the pod will need some working, and that's beyond my help. You'll need some kind of hacker, that disgusting robot crap. Aurora doesn't say anything. Anyways, there you go. Yip-de-doo. Great. That was fun for 5 minutes. If you find any coins, she looks at you, Riva. You bring them to me. We could potentially win the game.
Sure. Or I could take them to, and I say, what did she say earlier? Not Palestine.
Palisades.
Palisades. Or I could take them to Palisades?
Oh,
and I give her a long look. Like, what is this?
Why would you take them there? They don't even use technology. Bunch of old backwards swords and spears, and the magic there is pretty good, of course, but nothing like the Dark Tower. That's where you and I belong if we can just find some more coins. So if you find coins, bring them to me. Okay, her eyes kind of start to mesmerize you for a second. Aurora leans in. Okay, that's good.
Would I know anything about the Dark Tower?
No,
right.
That's outside your
expertise.
Yeah.
Do I sense any of the trouble brewing out of the front door? Because Aurora had mentioned that there were life forms, or there was trouble brewing at the front door.
You do start to detect that strong aftershave cologne has definitely come closer, and the gun powder is getting closer. Not right outside the door, but definitely closer.
Okay. I immediately, and as surreptitiously as possible, cast a force field on the... So if there's a hallway, and then here's the door, I cast it just across the hallway, the whole thing's right there.
There's not too much of a hallway, but you can cover the door anyways. Please roll.
I rolled 59.
Perfect. Okay.
That is a critical for force field.
Okay. You put the door up. Autocar turns. Well, it seems like it's a day of magic. Fantastical magic all over the shop. Why are you blocking my door there, darling one?
I shoot the dirtiest look at Magnus, and I just think, what did I just say before we goddamn came in here? No random magic. That was the one thing. No random magic.
Yeah. Magnus turns and says, "You'll forgive me, Mr. Autocar, but there seems to be some trouble brewing at your front door that we do not wish to become embroiled within. If our businesses are complete, we will leave immediately."
Okay. Autocar looks at you hard. Then he turns to Krellin. "Well, you're welcome to leave, of course. It's time for you to go, and you." He points you with a finger. "Remember, you owe me."
Of course. I never would renege on a negotiation such as this. That's bad for business.
Also, there is a bounty on your head, just in case you know, and,
I know. It's not been a great couple of weeks for old Krellin.
Better be a
jaw a little bit.
Better be a good favor, because I didn't call them, but of course you know. He looks at the door. "Well, the world is always waiting for us. Now I think it's time for you all to go."
Okay. I say, Tithe, it's time for us to return. Please, post haste.
Okay. As Autocar kind of turns and looks at you again, Krellin, to say something, you feel the air rush past you all, and you feel a pop, and suddenly it smells much better, actually. Even though there is the smell of circusiness, it's still better than Autocar's shop. Aurora kind of braces against you, Riva. You were sitting, and Aurora was kind of leaning. "Please roll agility."
No, that's bad. Okay, hold on.
Aurora's rolling it too. Oh my.
A 64, and my agility is a 35. Oh man. I plant it right on the ground.
You both fall down on the ground. Ugh. Ow.
Magnus says, Aurora. Oh, okay, he goes to help her out.
Krellin was still sitting as well.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you were.
I 44 out of 85.
Okay, Krellin, with the great grace of a cat-like Cabal member, you know what Magnus is going to be doing anyways, and you actually started to stand up as you felt that air rushing past you to teleport, and now you're standing there quite casually.
I brush off my boot slightly.
Aurora gets up with the help of Magnus and helps Riva.
Okay, Magnus is helping up Aurora and pins his eyes on Krell and says, "What in the blazes were you thinking running off like that?"
The blazes was I thinking? As I said, I saw an old friend and I wanted to catch up.
Ah, the way you caught up with Mr. Raid earlier?
Whatever do you mean, my good man?
I sense everything within 100 meters of me. I know exactly what happened in that wagon.
Well, he disrespected me and needed to pay for it. Now, thankfully, nothing bad came of it, but that is the price you pay.
Okay, Riva and Aurora are both standing there. What? She leans to you. Riva, what's going on?
I have no idea. Thanks, Tithe. Yeah, I assume we're next to...
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
Well,
He's
Next
not
time
right
we're on
there.
a mission, make sure you stick to the parameters, Magnus says, and he turns around.
I don't believe we had set any parameters.
Running off and getting us into a firefight definitely was not one of the parameters, sir.
Well, to be fair, I did say to wait.
Okay, the
It would have
twins
just
walk
been me
up.
in the firefight.
The twins walk up. They're standing together, watching you. Tithe did acknowledge your thanks, Riva, and nodded. Did you get what we needed?
Yes, I believe Mr. Riva has it here.
And one for you, and one for you. And I
Hey.
give one component to each of the... One
Sisters.
to each of them. Yeah, sisters. That's
What
a
are we-
good word.
Okay. Okay, they look. Fabulous. We'll take these to Aristodemos' wagon. We still need more things.
Wow. You're welcome.
Krellin comes up beside Riva and kind of just very delicately nudges him just off center of the two of them.
Riva, are you upset?
No, just appreciation where appreciation's due. I turned to Tide, and I give a little nod.
Oh. We're sorry. Thank you.
I must
Hey, no problem.
apologize on behalf of the group, leader Adil. I'm sorry, there was some tension. He shoots a dirty look at Krellin. But at least we got the items that were necessary, and nobody got hurt. Well, none of us.
That is good news. Now, perhaps you would like to see the end of the show.
Oh yes, we did hear about something over the newscast. Is everyone all right?
Well, other than Royd and Aristodemos, they both tilt their heads again.
The hunter, the man in patchwork leather that was here, the gunman, is he still around, or has he been let go?
He is still in the pods.
Very well. Well, I suppose we'll have a bit of a respite, and then I suppose we'll see about getting the other items.
Okay, they both lean in together to the group and say simultaneously rather than back and forth talking. We do appreciate the help. It's what family does.
But of course, we are more than happy to provide.
Okay. One of the twins, you don't know which, Riva, looks into you. We promise to take care of you, too. You do know that, right?
So I smile, bright, big. If I have to, I'll cast empathy on myself to fill myself with joyous belief and wonderment. So it's a real glance that I give and say, "Yeah, of course."
Okay, she leans even closer. We won't let him get you.
Thank you so much. I do appreciate it.
We know. She looks back to her sister. And then you hear a voice in your head, no one else says. We know you've suffered at the hands of Signy. We will watch over you. He can't get you here. Okay, she gives you a genuine wild smile. On the outskirts, on the outside, you all hear, we know you're a good person. Okay, they stand up. As we said, Polycarpus and Deanna are performing their show. Then we'll take care of the next ingredients to help Aristodemos. You should enjoy it. The stands are full, of course, but backstage is open. Okay, they start to wander off.
I am going to follow them because I need to talk to them really quick.
As soon as you go to move, they turn together simultaneously.
Oh, very quick, if I could have a word.
That was many.
This is true. If I could have several more in some confidence.
Okay, they just stand and blink at you. Aurora looks at the rest of the group.
We can continue to walk if you have somewhere to be. This would only take a moment.
All right. Okay, they start walking. Okay, you leave the group. 1 second group.
No.
Go, Krellin.
So once we're out of earshot, so I had an arrangement with Aristodemos, and now that he's unfortunately incapacitated for the time being, I would hope that you could help fulfill some of the things that need doing, as there is a bit of a time crunch, and it seems like you two are the ones running the circus at the moment, unless I'm mistaken.
We're not aware of what deal you may have made, but we'll honor anything Aristodemos has promised.
Wonderful. I'm looking for someone as a slave in the Black Cabal. I have recently come into some somewhat new information regarding myself, and it seems that I need to find him. I give them a little bit more information, whatever I know about where this person is.
Okay. Okay. We understand. The search has been initiated. They both cock their heads.
Thank you. If I can do anything else to be of service, please let me know.
They smile. Magnus, you are out of earshot. However, I assume you're probably keeping an eye on Krellin and the twins?
Mm-hmm.
Please roll PR.
I roll 91. That is not a critical success, but it is a success.
Okay. Both you and Aurora Aurora's half talking to Riva, and you see they're having this conversation, and you notice that at one point, right towards the end, before Krellin and the twins sort of bow to each other, you see sort of a strange wispiness almost goes through the twins, as if they become insubstantial for the briefest of seconds.
Okay, do I know what to make of that with my alchemy or with my magical knowledge, or?
Did you see their show, their performance?
I'm sure he has by now.
Okay. You do recognize that insubstantial kind of moment that happens when they are performing their show and walking in and out of the mirror. Definitely you see that insubstantial kind of wisp happens briefly.
Okay. Not really sure what to make of that, but...
You just noticed it.
Okie dokie. He makes a mental note.
Okay. Okay, Krellin, you're done. The twins have pretty much dismissed you. Not in a jerky way, but...
Yeah, no, I know what you mean.
The party seems to be standing, kind of watching, waiting for you.
Okay, Magnus goes up to Krellin.
I was also going back to the party.
Okay.
So how much of that conversation did I was able to discern?
What's your hearing?
It's 82. It's pretty good.
82, you say?
Mm-hmm.
Well, with a 1, you only heard a brief mention of some kind of slave, and that the twins, and it mostly came when that scintillation happened, that the twins would be honoring something and looking for something. That's all you caught. Krellin's walking towards you.
Big old smile on his face, just like usual.
Okay. Magnus does walk up to him.
So, are we wanting to get going soon, or are we taking a little rest first?
We're going to take a little rest, I think, Mr. Krillin.
Very well.
One piece of advice.
Eyebrow raise.
If you wish the circus to trust you, it would be best if you could trust us.
Oh, my good man, but I do trust you.
I could not help but overhear a bit of your conversation with Lida and Adil.
Oh, now that is terribly rude, listening into a private conversation.
I merely overheard a couple words is all. I understand you have your reasons for being here. So be it. So do we all.
Do we all.
They say, so do we all.
Plus one to both of you. That was awesome.
Solid.
Again, if we're going to go on another mission, it would be a good idea if we were all on the same page and not going off and losing our head, so to speak.
All right. Completely agree with you, my friends.
Good. Okay, Magnus just leaves and walks towards the mess tent.
Before
Okay.
you go,
He stops, he turns.
so that we are on the same page, should I see one of my old acquaintances once again, I will let the party know where I'm going, but I will have to take care of certain things, as to not cause the rest of the party to be in any trouble. Believe it or not, I do have the safety of all of you at one of my top priorities.
I suppose that remains to be seen.
Very well.
Okay. Now Magnus turns and goes.
Okay, Aurora's standing there. She goes, I want to see their act. Do you guys want to sneak in the back?
Yeah, sure.
Magnus, come on.
Of course. Magnus smiles.
You head towards the back of the tent. The whole back area, other than Tithe, who had been back kind of waiting for you, who also, once he acknowledged, well, once Riva thanked him, he also went to the back of the big tent is where he went. There's nobody back here, which again is quite strange. That you can hear booming coming out of the big tent and lots of crowd clapping. As full as you've ever heard it before. You hear clapping, and just as you come in, you see a bunch of the performers are crowded around. You kind of push through. Aurora ducks in. She conjures a little robot that pushes some people out of the way so you can get a good view. She finds an area to stand, and you can see sort of from kind of the wings from the side into the main stage. You just see Cozy and Turk coming off and going out. And then you hear a female voice. And now, for the last act. Everything in the whole tent goes super dark, and little sparkly lights, little color balls start appearing and floating all over, both behind where you are as almost if this act is being given both to the audience and the performers as an audience in the back. A single spotlight comes down in the darkness, and you hear boots clicking, and you see Iana come out. People start clapping and roaring. You hear in the crowd, "Oh, they're okay. I think they're okay." She bows. She has a black top hat. She puts on the ground. She goes, "My friends, fellow Gaizans, the reports of our death are slightly exaggerated." Okay, people start clapping, and you hear some genuine roars of excitement. And this brings us to the end of the show. Not to the end of ends yet. Okay, you start to see Polycorpus appear suddenly beside her as if he came out of the hat. Of course, that's impossible. He's 7 feet tall and the hat's about this big. He starts casting, and you see magic, all kinds of magic beings. Birds start flying around and leaving color rainbows behind. You see small beings, quite small, with little wings sort of appearing out. They start flying around. They're kissing people on cheeks. People seem completely mesmerized. Everyone can roll MR.
Yay, success.
Magnus?
10 on a 245.
Ooh, nice. Okay, you feel this wash of kind of wonder come over you. You recognize, all of you immediately, it's the magic being cast. There's actually a little fairy comes up to you, Riva, and kind of kisses you on the nose and goes off, and you realize it's an illusion. You've been studying them more and more, trying to understand that magic. It's quite impressive. You actually feel as if something touched you, and there was a bit of a smell too, like a pleasant smell to it. You look back out, Iana's disappeared from that light. You just see Polycorpus casting. Bubbles appear, and there's people inside them, different magical scenes. Suddenly, the lights at the top of the seats, at the top of the bleachers, Iana's up there. She says, "So although the end is coming, rejoice in the magic. Go out into the world and share a little of the beauty you've seen tonight." You see a huge wash of rainbows come up, almost as if colored water is coming out, and she's gone again. The sparkling magic starts to pull back a little bit, and the crowd is completely in rapture. You hear her voice just echo through the whole tent. "Enjoy your life and spread the happiness." And there's a hoop reminiscent of what the twins use, hanging up, except it's covered in sparkles. She's standing at it with her legs crossed at the ankles, holding on each side. She says, "Don't spend time worrying on what may come, because it will come, nonetheless. The only difference is your suffering. So play, find your joy, and my friends, never look back." And she lets go, and she falls backwards with her arms outstretched. A few people scream. Some people, though, are so enraptured with the music, as kind of rainbows and the fairies and everything falls. And you see that top hat, she falls right into it. There's a huge explosion of fireworks go out, and everything's gone. The crowd goes crazy.
Magnus looks at Aurora and kind of smiles and